Hello students, today we are going to see some more interesting and important questions from MS Chauhan sir's Organic Chemistry, Isomerism and Level 1 and the question from 101 to 110. Come on, let us discuss the total number of stereoisomers of the compound 1 bromo 3 chlorocyclobutane. This is very simple question. Come on, let us discuss. The first question tells about what it is. First thing, let me draw the diagram of the compound that is cyclobutane in that 1 bromo. This is 1 bromo and this is 3 chlorocyclobutane. So as you observe here that as we cut over there, here POS is present. And moreover, here POS is present means it's achiral, right? Why it's achiral? Same groups which is attached. So same groups which is attached and it is achiral POS is present means 100% it is meso. Okay, now how many isomers are possible? Come on. Let me draw this again for you to get that idea how to identify. Okay, now imagine this is a wedge part and this side also wedge part of that compound. Now in that bromine is there, in this chlorine is there. The other part, let me draw that because meso it is what it is, superimposable mirror images, same, it is a achiral. And so that means here another part, what can you mention what it is? One side it will be wedge, the other side it will be dash. So this is bromine and this is chlorine. You can exchange both, the here the side wedge and this side dash, or this side dash, this side wedge, both are same only. So can we give that idea about a cis and a trans? So how many isomers are possible for that 1 bromo 3 chlorocyclobutane? So there are two isomers are possible, that is cis and trans. 1 bromo 3 chlorocyclobutane. Hope you got the clarity. So as you draw the structural formula, easily you can identify the isomers, that is okay. So how many structural formula, I mean how many stereoisomers are possible? It is two stereoisomers are possible. Come on, let's go to the next question. The next question tells about total number of stereoisomers of 1,3 dichlorocyclohexane. This also the same idea but different compound. So cyclohexane, so let me draw the structural formula. Cyclohexane, so this is a cyclohexane. So cyclohexane, this is 1 and 3, so this is Cl and 1 2 3. So 1 3 dichlorocyclohexane. In that POSs there are not, first and foremost. So as we cut over here, so when you cut over here, 100% you can identify what it is. Here you can find that meso. So meso, it's possible. It is a meso because here POS is present. So POS is present means it's a achiral. So achiral means 100% it is a meso. So meso means actually it is a superimposable mirror image. Impossible mirror image. And it do not show that optical activity. Okay, come on, let us go for another stereoisomers. Yeah, the first one here in this point, let me draw the structural formula here. Cyclohexane, in that one side it's a wedge, the other side it is a dash. I hope you got the clarity. As I'm mentioning here, chlorine 1,3 dichloro cyclohexane. So one side is, it is a wedge, the other side. So here you can identify the chiral center. So chiral center, two chiral centers are available. So two chiral centers available means here chiral compound only. So I can draw here what it is, mirror image, non-superimposable mirror image. So the other one, what it is, this side wedge and this side dash, no, and the same way here non-superimposable mirror image, no. So this is Cl and this side non-superimposable mirror image, this side it's a dash. So Here RS configuration. So RS configuration means RS configuration, it is possible because what it is? It's a chiral compound. Chiral compound means POS, COS absent. So that means it is two enantiomers. Enantiomers. So RS compound, that is RS configuration, chiral compound, POS, COS absent. This is enantiomers. So how many stereoisomers are possible? So this is meso, it is one, and enantiomers, it is two. So altogether, three isomers are possible. So this compound, how many stereoisomers are possible? Means three isomers are possible. Hope you got the clarity. Come on, let's go to the next question. The compound 1,4-dichlorocyclohexane. See, again the same concept, different compound, right? Okay, now this is 1,4-dichlorocyclohexane. Cyclohexane only again. So this is cyclohexane. So 1,4-dichlorocyclohexane. Sometimes, as you observe only, as you see, read the question only, you will come to know that idea. So this is what it is, 1 and 2, 3, 4. So this is, so naturally this is what it is, symmetrical. So symmetrical as you cut over there. So it's a achiral. Achiral means what it is, meso. I just mentioned here meso. Actually, meso, how do you get meso? Here, POS is present. So, POS is present means 100% meso. Okay, now another way, can we try for that cis and trans? Yes, it is possible, cis and trans. How come? That first question, what we have drawn, no, the same idea. So, here, see, meso it is possible means directly we can go for cis and trans. Why? Because it's a achiral, POS is present. So let us try this point. So here one side it is wedge, the other side it is dash. So that means this is a trans and the other one what it is. I just draw the structure of cis, right? So that will be easy. So one side, both the side it is wedge. So this is Cl and this side also Cl. So this is cis and this is trans. I hope you got the clarity. So, how many isomers are possible? Can you guess what is the correct answer? Of course, 100% here, two isomers are possible. So, what is the option? Option C is the correct option. Hope you got the clarity. Come on, let's go to the next question. See, just to remember that meso means you cis and trans you can try so that you will come to know that idea. Meso means how do we get that meso? First and foremost, POS will be present. POS is present means 100% it's a achiral. So it's a meso we are telling. So in that meso, what it is, cis and trans, it is possible. Come on. Next question. Number of stereoisomers of the compound 2,4-dichloroheptane. So here heptane they have given. So that is actually long chain compound. So that means how many carbon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And 2, 4, that means this carbon which is attached with that and this carbon. So 2, 4 dichloro. So that means here also. So 2,4-dichlorocycloheptane. Okay, now in this, is it a symmetrical or unsymmetrical? 100% it is a unsymmetrical. Right, unsymmetrical. So 100% it is unsymmetrical means what is the formula you will give for it? So this is total number of stereoisomers for unsymmetrical 2 to the power of n. N equal to what it is here 2 because this is one chiral carbon and this is one chiral carbon. So two chiral carbons are possible. So that means here 2, right? So now 2 to the power of 2 equal to 4. So how many stereoisomers are possible for 2,4-dichloroheptane? It is 100% 4 isomers are possible. I wanted to mention in the previous question, what do you identify? Do you find any chiral carbon over here? Do you find here? There is no chiral carbon. See, both the side, it is like symmetrical. Here also you can find that symmetrical. So, That symmetrical means you cannot find any chiral carbon. So no chiral carbon, no chiral carbon. Just I wanted to mention this point for cis and trans. I hope you got the clarity for both the questions. This one it is unsymmetrical. So we are going for the formula side, right? Come on, let's go to the next question. Form is more dominating than enol form. You know, why do we say keto group it's more stronger than enol form, you know? So C double bond O and C double bond C. See here, C double bond O, it's keto group, it's more stronger. So what are the points we can mention keto group is more strong? And first and foremost, it is intramolecular hydrogen bond. Intramolecular hydrogen bond will be available. Second point, resonance it will be taking place. Third point, it will be aromaticity. Right. So these are all the points makes that C double bond O. It's more stronger than enol form. Right. Now come to this point here. That compound A. This is cyclobutane. In that double bond O up and down, this is first and foremost, it is a symmetry. So it's easily we can identify. Now here CH2, here CH2, it is there, no? So one carbon, two hydrogen is there. In that one hydrogen is there, no? It is transfer of electron, it's taking place. So automatically resonance takes place. Here also that hydrogen, here also transfer of electron. So resonance. So what happened? Here you will get that double bond and here you will get that OH. I just to bring it to you. See now here in this the same idea only, the compound C double bond with the hydrogen, so the transfer of electron, actually the keto form it's more stable. When it is going for enol form, you are getting a double bond both the side because of transfer of electron and resonance. So actually here what it is, 4 pi electrons, 4 pi electrons means it is anti aromatic, unstable. So this is actually who's more stable, keto form it's more stable. So option A, actually it is more stable. So option A it's more stable. Come on, let us go for that second option, whether it is stable or not, let us check. So in this point here, the same idea. Now here hydrogen will be there, no? So in this point one hydrogen is there, no? So in that point one hydrogen is there, no? So in that, so transfer of electron it is taking place. So that means here also resonance. The same way this side also. And here automatically the double bond comes over here and here you will get that OH. So I just bring it to you. So here what happens? It's the same thing. So here what happened? The double bond. So that actually this hydrogen transfers here, so that this hydrogen transfers, so you will get the double bond here and then here you will get OH. So the double bond comes over here means actually this point which is having keto form it is more stable. So this point it is more stable. Which is more stable? This keto form it's more stable. Why it's more stable? Why enol form it is not stable? Because this side it is a steric hindrance, is the bulky group. So here double bond and here steric group which is highly unstable. This point it is more stable. And the third one it is actually bridgehead carbon. So in that bridgehead carbon, this is actually what it is. This is also here hydrogen is available, so the transfer of electron. So transfer of electron, so again it is taking place. So that what happened here, that same idea I just bring it to you here. So in this bridgehead, so the double bond, this hydrogen it is taking place, so that automatically the transfer of electron, the resonance takes place. So here you will get what it is, OH is coming. So OH comes here actually. Bridgehead compound which is having double bond, it is highly unstable. Remember, that is violation of Brett's rule. Brett's rule you know very well. So that is actually violation of Brett's rule. Double bond at bridgehead it is highly unstable. So which is more stable in this point? So in this point keto form it's more stable. More stable. So that means all these three compound, first compound, second compound, third compound, everything it is stable. So which is the correct option? Now as we are talking about this point over here, so this also more stable and this also more stable. So option A also more stable, or option B, option C. So generally speaking, keto form it's more stable than enol form, but it is not applicable for all the compounds. As we are observing that examples, you will come to know that idea. So mainly thing, keto form is more stable because of three main property. What are those three main property? Intramolecular hydrogen bonding forms, and resonance takes place, and aromaticity. So these are all the points are applicable for that keto group. It is more stronger, stable than enol form. So which is the correct option as we are giving that? So all these. So this also stable, this also stable, and this also stable. Right? Hope you got the clarity about all these points. Come on, let's go to the next question. Question: among the following compounds, which will give maximum enol content in solution? Last question we have seen enol content or keto group or enol group, which is more stronger, which is more stable, we have mentioned. Now in this, which can give maximum enol content? So as we observe here in this compound, see in between CH2 group, you observe here CH2 group, here also CH2 group, in between of C double bond O. So keto group, here CH2, and here keto group. So this hydrogen, actually we can say it is active methylene group. You know what is the speciality of active methylene group? It can provide acidic hydrogen, right? This provide what it is, acidic hydrogen. So to make that resonating structure, that means resonance stabilized by carbon anion. Now here I wanted to mention here C6H5, C double bond O, CH2, here C double bond O, C6H5, and the same way here as I mentioned enol content, that means when it converted into enol, keto form converted into enol, resonance takes place. So here in this more resonance which is providing, that is the point we have to observe. And then compound C and D. So here also C double bond O only, C double bond O, O C2H5. So here also the same carbon here. So we have to identify here how many carbons are there. One, this side one. So that means here how many alpha hydrogen we have to note down. So here 5 alpha hydrogen only it's available. So here also 5 alpha hydrogen, and here resonating structure takes place. Here also the same 5 alpha hydrogen is there. That same way this side also. But which can provide more resonating structure? 100% phenyl group, it's giving more resonating structure. Why? Resonance takes place in phenyl group, benzene in that phenyl group only. More resonance it is there comparatively aliphatic. This is aliphatic. C6H5, it is aromatic. So 100% here what do we observe? In that more resonating structure you can identify in that phenyl group only, you can identify that more resonating structure comparatively here everywhere, right? So which is the correct option? They are asking that question, which can give maximum enol content. So whichever is providing more resonating structure can give that maximum enol content in that solution. So option A is the correct option. I hope you got the clarity. Come on, let's go to the next question. Question: which of the following has unstable enol form? Now you see the types of question in the previous questions. What we have seen, keto form or enol form, which is having more stable. And that second question, what it is, which keto form give maximum enol content in solution. Now third one, which has unstable enol form. Now you see the types of question, the same concept but different types of question. Now in that point, option A, B, C, D. In that, see, in this, alpha hydrogen is available. So, alpha hydrogen means it transfer of electrons and resonating. structure takes place. So you will get the double bond over here and here OH content. That's what I just provide. So how many pi electrons are there? 2 pi electrons. So you are getting aromatic. Aromatic means it is a stable content, right? Now here in this point, here also alpha hydrogen is available, here also alpha hydrogen is available. So transfer of electrons takes place and resonating structure. So you will get both the side double bond. So both the side double bond means what it is? Here sp2 hybridization, both the side what it is, this point it is sp2 hybridization, this point also sp2, this corner, right? Now whereas here in this point you are getting sp3 hybridization. So for aromatic sp2 only, no, here sp3, it's a non-aromatic, right? Non-aromatic, it is not at all stable. And right now next one what it is, here in this point, here double bond it is there, and here double bond. Okay, now here what it is, alpha hydrogen transfer of electron, and here you will get, here you will get OH, and here you will get the double bond. So here 4 pi electrons, that 4 pi electrons means it is 100% what it is, anti-aromatic. So anti-aromatic, it is highly unstable, right? Now the last one, see here, the same way in this point here what it is, alpha hydrogen is available, this point only alpha hydrogen is available, transfer of electron. Now resonating structure takes place, so you will get that OH 100%, you will get that here. So that here you will get means, where you will get that, so double bond comes over here, see double bond comes over here, so the double bond comes over here means this double bond goes over here and OH. So this is completely phenol compound, right? So phenol compound means you know very well that is aromatic. Now, how do we identify which is having highly unstable enol form? I just bring that idea for you. Aromatic, it is greater than non-aromatic, it's greater than anti-aromatic. So anti-aromatic, it is least stable, so that is highly unstable means this option C, it is highly unstable, right? So enol form which is unstable, anti-aromatic, it is highly unstable. I hope you got the clarity. Now you see how they have given that question according to this isomers, and as well as organic chapter also they pulled alpha hydrogen, enol content and keto content. How do we identify aromatic, non-aromatic, anti-aromatic? So these are all the points we have gone through in what it is organic chemistry, but in isomers also it is available to identify. Yes, come on, let's go to the next question. Calculate enantiomeric excess of mixture containing 6 gram of plus 2 butanol and 4 gram of minus 2 butanol. How do we identify the percentage? So here actually D and L combined together only enantiomeric excess we are finding. So D means what it is? D, it is a plus compound, right? Now L means what it is? It's a minus compound. Here in that point they have given 6 gram of plus 2 butanol. So 6 gram of plus 2 butanol, and here 4 grams of minus 2 butanol. 4 grams of minus 2 butanol. So how do we identify the percentage of enantiomeric excess? Enantiomeric, enantiomeric excess, right? So here D minus L divided by D plus L into 100, that's all. This is the formula. Okay, so enantiomeric excess, how do we identify? D plus D minus L divided by D plus L into 100. Now here how do we apply the value? D plus D minus L, so that means what it is? 6 minus 4 divided by 6 plus 4 into 100, right? Now here the color I'll change. So in that, here what it is? 2 divided by 10 into 100. So that means Here what you will get it 20 percentage. That's all, very simple. Enantiomeric excess, it is nothing. D and L only. D always plus small l, small l and small d. Okay. So capital D, capital L, dextro levo, that is different. This is small d and small l plus and minus compound. So plus it is what it is. 2 butanol, so that is 6 gram and 4 gram. So what is the main thing here you have to consider? Formula. So enantiomeric excess, percentage of enantiomeric excess, D minus L by D plus L into 100. So if you apply, you are getting the answer. Now which is the correct option? Option B is the correct option. Hope you got the clarity. Now option B is the correct option. Come on, let's go to the next question. Presents a pair of diastereomers. You know very well what do you mean by diastereomers. Diastereomers is nothing, spatial arrangement. And second thing, it is not mirror image of each other. And cis and trans, it is possible. Okay, now come on. In that option, in that pair, which represents diastereomers? Come on, let us find. First option A, mesotartaric acid and L-tartaric acid. They have given the name of that compound, but other also the same, only it represents, but different arrangement it has mentioned. Right now, come on. First one, mesotartaric acid. The name only it has mentioned mesotartaric acid. COOH, CHOH, CHOH, COH. This is mesotartaric acid. So this is identical mirror image. Whereas L form, this is L tartaric acid. No, so one it is fixed, the other one it is changed. So this is spatial arrangement. So cis and trans, it is possible. So this is cis and this is trans. So that this is 100% diastereomers. So this pair, it shows diastereomers only. Now the second option here, the same thing only here. Ion they have given option B, COOH, CHOH, CHOH, COO minus. Here also they mention. Here also one it is fixed. Here also one it is fixed. The other one which is changed that direction. So that means this is also what it is. Not mirror image, but cis and trans it is possible. So this is also diastereomers. And the third one, see, they have break over here, COOH. See, in that COO, here it is attached with, in that way they have formed. So fourth priority is there on horizontal, fourth priority is there on vertical. In that way, if you observe, you will find here R configuration, whereas here you will get what it is, RS configuration. You just observe R configuration, RS configuration. So R and R and S. So one only it has changed, the other one it is common. Like one it is fixed, the other one it is changing. So this also diastereomers. So that means all three pairs are diastereomers only. Right now, which is the correct option? All the above. That means all of these are diastereomers. I hope you got the clarity. Whichever way they are giving, you can identify diastereomers. How do we identify? See, RRRS. In that way also you can identify diastereomers. Come on, let's go to the next question. Very simple. The stereochemistry of this molecule, it is chair form of cyclohexane they have given in that axial and equatorial. So axial part it is a wedge, equatorial part it is a dash. Okay, so according to that we have to identify RS configuration. So RS configuration according to CIP rule. CIP rule you know very well. How do we identify that RS configuration? That is absolute configuration. So as we mentioned that axial and equatorial, I just mentioned in that cyclohexane form, axial and equatorial according to that wedge and dash I just mentioned. So axial it is a wedge, equatorial it is a dash. So let us give that priority order so that you will come to know that clarity. So that is first atomic number higher, it is highest priority. So atomic number high. So here first priority, and this is second priority, and this is third priority. Of course, this is fourth priority. But generally, in the dash position only fourth priority has to come. So exchanges takes place. So exchange takes place also. This is what it is. anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise means what happened? So dash position, fourth priority is there on the dash position. Anti-clockwise means it is a R. So first chiral carbon, it is R. So 1, 2, 3. Now third chiral carbon, we have to check it. See now 1, 2, 3. No. So this is third chiral carbon. Let us check. So in the third chiral carbon, now of course here what it is, this point, this carbon, it is 1, and then this is what it is, this is 2, and this is 3, and of course this is 4. Fourth priority is there on the dash position only. So how do we get it? This is actually clockwise. So fourth priority is there on the dash position. Clockwise means what it is, R only. So that means this is 3R. So what is that option? 1R and 3R. So, which is the correct option? 1R and 3R. Option A is the correct option. I hope you got the clarity about all these 10 questions, and thank you for watching.